So I've deviated a little bit from Charles's experiment 2 setup. As you can tell, the big one is I've got this dial right here. It's a potentiometer, 1 meg resistor, and I used that because I did not have the very tiny one that I would use with a tiny screwdriver. I did have some, but they weren't the right value. This is a 1 meg potentiometer, which is what I need. Now, as you'll see, I've used gator clips and jumper wire to put them in the right spot. You may notice that the middle wire here, the green one, is going to the breadboard, and then another jumper wire jumping. It's mainly because I found that when using the potentiometer, if I set a certain setting, and then once I started shifting all the wires to take different readings, this would sometimes get a little jostled, the value would change. So I just learned to leave it alone, dial it in, leave it alone, and then use jumper wires to make all my settings. You'll also notice I have 2 meters here. I used this one when measuring current, and I used this one to measure voltage between the transistor's emitter and ground. You can see I'm still using my 5 volts DC regulated here. And again, apologies for all the colored wire. I have the many colors of the rainbow here, but it's mainly because I'm not interested in making it look pretty. I need it to work, and so I just use what I have. But definitely, if you want to make it prettier, there are plenty of places for you to do that. But as you can see, I've got my the little meter ends here that hold the jumper wires. This was when I was taking the readings of the current in milliamps. But one catch I want to point out to you is when I'm taking this circuit and going back to measuring microamps, what I had to do was I had to first off disconnect all my wires. I left this one here just because it was an easy way to measure voltage. But this black wire, I would pop it out, and I would use a small jumper, which I don't have right now, to go from the transistor to power. I made a mistake at one point and left that in, and I was getting really weird readings, and it wasn't until I removed it to measure in milliamps that I realized that was my problem. But you have to be really careful when you've got this much junk on your breadboard. Things tend to get a little crazy and you overlook things. I can't tell you the number of times that I would turn my meter on and not get a reading, and I'd look over here and realize that I had, for example, this jumper wire from the pot. I had it going, instead of to the base, I had it wired to go to the emitter or the collector. So you just got to be really, really careful when you're wiring up your breadboard that everything goes where it goes. If you do that right and you get everything wired up, you should have success with this experiment.